Welcome to Silent Secrets. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most misunderstood parts of human connection. The quiet ways a woman shows love without ever saying the words. You see, when a woman truly feels something for a man, she doesn't always confess it directly. She won't post it on social media. She won't say it in front of her friends, and she may not even admit it to herself. But her emotions, they always find a way to leak through her actions. Most men never catch it. They're too distracted, too busy overanalyzing, or simply too uncertain to notice the small shifts that reveal the truth. But the reality is this: love doesn't always show up in grand gestures. Sometimes it hides in a glance, a tone, a moment of silence, or a choice she makes when no one's watching. And once you learn to recognize these 7 quiet signs, you'll stop guessing. You'll see what she's been trying to say all along, without saying a single word. So stay with me till the end, because number 7 is the one that even the most emotionally intelligent men often miss. She finds ways to be around you, even when she doesn't have to. When a woman secretly loves you, one of the first things you'll notice, if you're paying attention, is how she starts showing up in your orbit more often than coincidence allows. It's subtle. She's not going to chase you or make it obvious, but she'll always find a way to cross paths. Maybe she's suddenly around at the same time you are. Maybe she joins the same group conversation. Maybe she asks small questions she doesn't actually need answers to, just to keep the connection alive. You see, women are incredibly intuitive. They rarely place themselves where they don't want to be. So, when she starts orbiting closer, that's her way of signaling comfort, curiosity, and quiet affection. Most men mistake this for friendliness. They say, "She's just nice to everyone." But what they miss is the difference between convenience and intention. A woman who's neutral toward you won't invest energy to be around. She'll keep her distance. But when she feels something deeper, she'll find excuses, however small, to stay connected. She might accidentally bump into you or linger just a few moments longer after everyone else leaves. These are not random. They're calculated expressions of interest masked as coincidence. And here's what a grounded man understands. He doesn't rush to interpret or overthink it. He simply observes. Because attraction is often revealed not by words but by patterns. If she keeps showing up, in the same places, in the same moments, that's not the universe playing tricks. That's emotion quietly positioning itself closer to you. A woman who values her time won't waste it where her heart isn't curious. Her presence is never meaningless. She remembers the details. Most people forget. Here's something powerful. Attention is the purest form of love. When a woman secretly loves you, she listens differently. She doesn't just hear what you say, she absorbs it. She stores it. She keeps track of it like mental bookmarks of who you are. You'll mention your favorite movie once, and a week later she'll send you a clip from it. You'll talk about a dream vacation, and she'll randomly bring it up in a future conversation. That's not random kindness. That's emotional investment. Most people forget details because they don't care enough to remember. But when she loves you quietly, everything you say matters to her. It's as if her mind filters out the world and locks onto the things that define you. She might even remind you of something you said months ago, something you barely remember. That's because she's not collecting facts. She's collecting fragments of you. This is one of the most tender and overlooked signs of affection. It's her heart's way of saying, "You matter enough for me to keep you alive in my mind." A woman who's indifferent won't remember, but one who secretly loves you is always paying attention, not out of obligation, but because her emotions naturally attach themselves to your story. And if you're wise, you'll notice this not as flattery, but as a signal. Her memory is her confession. She gets jealous, but tries to hide it. Let's be real. Jealousy isn't always toxic. Sometimes it's the quiet echo of care. When a woman secretly loves you, her emotions betray her before her words do. You'll notice it in the smallest shifts. A slightly different tone, a change in energy, a subtle silence that wasn't there before. Maybe you talk to another woman, and she suddenly becomes quieter. Maybe she teases you about it, pretending to joke while subtly fishing for information. Or perhaps she acts completely normal, almost too normal. But something in her eyes tells a different story. That's the thing about emotions. They're hard to hide when love is involved. A woman who doesn't care won't react. She won't even notice. But one who secretly loves you will always feel that tiny spark of discomfort when your attention drifts elsewhere. Now, a mature, confident woman won't lash out or start drama. Her jealousy is restrained, quiet, but present. It's that tiny pause when she hears another woman's name. It's that look she gives without realizing it. And a stoic man never mocks or manipulates that. He doesn't feed on it. He simply notices. Because when she's jealous in silence, she's telling you something. You matter enough to make me feel. That's not insecurity. That's emotional proof. If she gets bothered by your attention toward others, even subtly, that's not coincidence. That's her heart speaking a language her mouth isn't ready to translate. She finds reasons to touch. Here's one of the oldest truths about attraction. The body always speaks before the lips do. When a woman secretly loves you, her physical boundaries shift. You'll feel it in how close she stands, how her hand accidentally brushes against yours, how she laughs and touches your arm when something's funny. To an untrained eye, it's nothing. But to a man who's observant, it's everything. Touch is one of the most intimate forms of communication. It's her body's way of saying, I feel safe with you. She might fix something on your shirt, brush dust off your jacket, or give playful nudges when you tease her. Each of these gestures may seem harmless, but they're layered with emotion. And here's the truth. Women don't initiate touch with men they're indifferent toward. Physical contact is intentional. Most men either overreact, reading too much into it, or underreact, missing the message entirely. A grounded man stays composed. He doesn't flinch and he doesn't chase. He simply recognizes that this gesture is her unspoken invitation. When she keeps breaking that small physical barrier, she's expressing comfort, trust, and a deepening attraction. Her hands say what her words can't. Remember, her touch isn't just a move. It's a message. She starts sharing her inner world with you. This one is big, and it's often misunderstood. When a woman begins opening up about her personal life, her dreams, fears, or insecurities, that's not casual conversation. That's trust unfolding. Women are naturally protective of their emotional space. They don't reveal their deepest thoughts to just anyone. So when she starts letting you into her story, the unpolished, real, human parts, it's because she feels emotionally safe around you. She'll tell you about things that shaped her family, her past relationships, her ambitions, or the things she's afraid of. When she starts saying, I've never told anyone this, but stop and realize what's happening. That's not small talk. That's intimacy disguised as honesty. She's letting you see behind the curtain. And that's sacred ground. A man with presence doesn't rush to solve her problems or interrupt her vulnerability with advice. He listens. He gives her the space to be real, because for a woman, emotional safety is everything. It's what allows her to connect, attach, and trust. When she shares her inner world, she's not just opening up. She's silently saying, you matter enough for me to be real with. She supports you. When no one else does, here's where love becomes visible. When a woman secretly loves you, she invests in your growth. She becomes your quiet supporter, the person who believes in you when you start doubting yourself. Pay attention to the energy she brings when you talk about your goals or challenges. Does she listen with genuine curiosity? Does she remind you of your strengths? Does she encourage you when life hits hard? If yes, that's not just kindness. That's loyalty. She might not announce it to the world, but she's there, cheering for you silently, noticing your effort, celebrating your small wins. A woman who doesn't care will give surface-level support, but a woman who secretly loves you feels emotionally invested in your success. Your wins lift her spirit. Your struggles weigh on her. This type of support isn't about praise. It's about partnership. Even if you're not officially together, she's already aligning herself with your purpose. That's love before commitment, the purest form. A stoic man appreciates this deeply. He doesn't take it for granted. He doesn't make her carry his weight, but he acknowledges her faith in him, because A woman who supports your dreams before you've even achieved them isn't just interested, she's emotionally connected. She sees potential in you that maybe even you've forgotten. And that's one of the clearest, most beautiful signs of love in disguise. She starts imagining a future with you and now. The most revealing sign. The one even sharp men often overlook. When a woman secretly loves you, she begins to picture you in her future. Not in a fantasy way, but in subtle, everyday hints that slip through her conversations. She might say things like, "We should go there one day," or "You'd love that place." She starts using words like "we" instead of "you." That's her subconscious revealing her attachment. She'll plan future scenarios, a concert, a trip, a dream home, and you'll always somehow be part of it. It sounds casual, but make no mistake, she's testing compatibility without saying it outright. Women don't imagine futures with men they don't care about. It's not in their nature to waste emotional energy that way. If she's weaving you into her vision of tomorrow, it means her heart already sees you there. A grounded man recognizes this but doesn't rush to label it. He listens, he smiles, he notices, because he understands that love doesn't always come wrapped in direct confessions. It often shows up as quiet inclusion, an invitation to stay. The deeper truth. When a woman starts talking about someday and you're part of the picture, she's already emotionally invested. That's her soul's soft whisper saying, "I've already chosen you. I'm just waiting to see if you choose me too." The final truth. At the end of the day, love, real love, rarely arrives in loud declarations. It shows itself in consistent, quiet actions. She'll find ways to be near you. She'll remember what others forget. She'll feel jealous but hide it. She'll touch you without realizing why. She'll open up. She'll support you. And she'll start imagining a world that includes you. Most men miss these signs not because they're blind, but because they're distracted. But a man who's calm, observant, and emotionally grounded, he sees it all. He doesn't need her to say, "I love you," to know it's real. He reads it in her energy, in her effort, and in the quiet loyalty she gives without asking for anything back. Because when a woman secretly loves you, her actions will always whisper what her lips can't yet say. The only question is, are you wise enough to listen? That's it for today's episode of Silent Secrets. If this message resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, because what comes next will change the way you understand love, attraction, and feminine psychology forever. Until next time, stay calm, stay grounded, and stay aware, because sometimes the loudest truths are spoken in silence.